Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuits. It's Sunday morning. I have not made a video since Thursday, so let's get to work. The saloon that I made that was a solid building in the West campaign, I found that we need more and more buildings that are interactable and that you can go into. So I've decided to revisit that and build a modular tavern, saloon slash whorehouse that could be used in different methods. So I think what I want to do is I want to build a corner unit. So what I want to start off with is I'm going to do 6-inch. By 6-inch. And this would be faster with a square. Basically what I want to do, 6-inch. And then see this square here? We want the entrance to be on that square. So I'm going to take this off. Okay. So I want to make it this whole big size, I think. That might have been a mistake. Yeah, that was definitely a mistake because that's almost 10 inches. So really what we want to do is make this 9 by 6 by 6. So that can be fixed easily. I think it can be fixed easily. So to do that, since these are so big, let's see, let's do them 9 by 6 by 6. To do that, I need to do some clever cutting. But I am not clever, so therein lies a problem as well. It's 8 right there. 8 even seems kind of big. All right, let's change this up. Let's do 8 by 6 by 6. Eight. Okay, there we go. That's going to be a little bit more manageable of a building. 9 was just too damn big. Or 10, almost 10 was too big. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to make this the shape of our building. So let's get a knife and snip that out and start from there. Alright, I plan on doing this over the course of several videos. I'm not sure how many it's going to take. But we want this to be modular and playable in such a way that it's not a nuisance. And by not a nuisance, lifting a roof off for a large building is a lot different than lifting a roof off for a small building. So now let's figure out what we want is the walls to actually sit down on the surface of this. So let's get some of that sorted out. There's a nice flat edge we can use. Let's get a bigger piece of this. I just had a different idea completely. Or let's get a piece of cardboard, actually. Let me get a piece of cardboard. That's a little smaller than I had hoped of a piece. I cannot manage to get what I want out of this. All right, so we can do that though. Let me think. All right, bigger piece of cardboard. Let's draw our outer line. Oh, that was terrible. There we go. Okay. What we want to do is we want to take a 1/2 inch off of every edge. So to do that, square would be easier for sure. Well, we don't even need a 1/2 inch. We just need to take, like, how wide is a piece of foam? So we could probably take 1/4 inch off of each edge to do this. So I'm going to take 1/4 inch there. I don't move this out of my way, it's in my way. Okay. Take 1/4 inch off there. Oh, that's not 1/4, that's 1/4. That's 1/4, okay? We get 1/4 inch here. And I'm going to eyeball it on this one, since I got a pretty good idea where the 1/4 inch is. All right. We'll set that off to the side and save it, because we might as well not scrap it for nothing. We're going to need other parts for this structure, I'm sure. So this will sit inside and act as a guide. And what we'll do is we'll put kind of a piece that holds the building together. Like the floor will be a separate component. And the walls will have a brace around the outside. I'm not sure how I'm going to build that yet. Okay, so if we come back to here, this should sit roughly 1/4 inch on all sides around. Okay, so let's make this the floor. To do that, we're going to need some planks so that our floor doesn't look terrible. This is going to take forever this way. All right, I like to do everything cheap, but sometimes you just can't. So check this out. There is a more expensive way to do this. We're going to get in this corner here. Okay. As much as I never set out to spend a bunch of money on this, this is probably only $0.125 of a buck, so this is probably 12.5 cents worth of foam. Can't see my lines real well, that's okay. I can see them enough. Okay, well, there was a weirdness there. There was quite a weirdness there. I'm just going to snip that weirdness off this way, so that it fits nicely. Okay. Good enough for government work. We don't even need the cardboard now. We'll save that for the upper floor of this, and it should fit. Well, that's crooked and weird. I don't know what I did wrong. Obviously, I've done something terribly wrong here. We'll save that piece. And we'll try this again. Sometimes I make mistakes, and that's okay. It wouldn't be fun if it was perfect every time, would it? No, it would not. Oh, mistakes are being made as we speak. I need to be using this as my piece for my template, not that. Oops. All right, now that should be better. All right, now let's try it and see how it looks. And that is exactly what we wanted. Something with a little bit of an edge, but not too much of an edge. Let's draw a little bit of a guideline here to make sure that everything looks pretty good. Use a marker. And that seems a little bit off. a little bit. Let's take a tiny little trim of this off. And I'm not going to measure this. I'm going to eyeball this, and it's probably going to be wrong. But that's okay. All right. That's pretty much better. Okay. Now, there's a piece of something we don't want there. The easiest thing to do would be to get a piece of this. It's kind of got a plasticky side. And just kind of smear that around and thin that out. Get really good coverage everywhere. I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to get my bead of glue here. Oh, we don't want that piece. Ow. Halt. Okay. All right, and that should dry down and be perfect for what we want. Now let's make some marks and do some planking. So for my planks, I'm just going to generically do 1/2 inch of straight plank, and then I'll just freestyle the ones in the middle. That's 7.5 now. That's 7.5. Now I really messed up. Oh well. Oh wait. I don't know. I'm dumb. It happens. I've been dumb before. It'll be okay. Okay. Now using a thin knife, not a thin knife, whoa! We're going to snap off a blade so we have a fresh new sharp blade for this. When you snap off a blade, you don't want to throw it away like this, okay? Get yourself a piece of cardboard, something like that, and a little piece of tape. Tape it to the cardboard, fold it over a couple times. And you don't have to get this fancy. You could use a wad of whatever you got. But this way, you won't cut anybody, like a garbage man or something. We don't want people getting hurt. All right, so let's get this, and let's do some grooves. And you don't have to cut all the way through. You don't want to cut all the way through. You just want to make some real nice, straight cuts in there, just like that. It'll be easier with this, actually, now that I think about it. My Garbo square. And we want to go all the way to the edge of the base of this when we're building. And the reason we want to do that is so that we can sit other buildings up flush against it, because a lot of my initial designs I left excess base, and then when I wanted to make like the traditional like rows of buildings, like I see in a lot of the photos, I couldn't do it. So going back now, I am trying to make an effort to get everything kind of mixed up. All right, so you could use just that right there and make that all your planks. What I want to do is I want to come back through the middle of those, and I want to rip some extra planks. So I'm going to do that real fast. And this is going to give you that imperfect look because these aren't measured. And this is going to make your floor look like it's not perfectly, like flawless. That was off really bad. I don't know how well you guys can see these lines, but off camera I can see them very plainly and easily. I noticed that it's on the white, it's hard to see stuff, so for this kind of stuff I think the black is easier to use. Alright, so now you have a generic kind of floor. You can just drag a pin down these. And it becomes more noticeable immediately. Let me look in the camera and see. Yeah, you can see that real easy. Pretty noticeable. We'll just come down here. We'll bisect this room, doing every other plank. And then we'll do these here. You could get a wire brush or a comb or anything, really, a regular brush. You can get anything you wanted. And you could literally easily rub some plank texture into this if you wanted to. Oh, look at that one's bad. You don't even have to do this, like with the pen. You could skip this part if you're in a hurry and just trying to get a building done. Okay, then if you really want to get fancy, you could even put nail holes and stuff. Let me see what I got here. Got that. All right, let me get a toothbrush or a plastic brush or whatever kind of brush. Let me get a brush. What I got here. Is that plastic? Sure is. This is plastic. But this will give it some plank texture. Then I'm just going to come through. And I honestly, if I wasn't making a video, don't know if I would be doing this right now. All this detail for the planks. We'll see. Okay, something like that will be like a very good generic, you know. So the next step is we want to make the outer walls that hold everything in place. And I think the easiest thing to use would probably be foam, but it doesn't leave us much of a gap for error. No. Okay, we're going to use cardboard because I didn't measure well. So let's get a flat edge on this. Okay. All I'm doing is designing my flat edge. So I know this edge is not flat. So I'm going to make a mark there. And I'm going to use this as my flat edge to do my work. Okay. Okay. So for my flat edges, I know I need 4, 5 edges at least. And what I want to do is I want my edges to be, let's measure those up. We want them to be about a ½ inch tall for the outer rim of the building. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Whoa. 3. And 1 more. Okay, now where's my shape of the floor at that I need to have? Okay, perfect. We're going to use that as the template for the top to come down. And let's get these going along the outside. So to do that, I want these to make sure these are standing up straight up and down. So I'm not going to rush. I'm going to set these into the glue and then get them flush to the edge. Just like that. Then I'm going to run a very thin bead in that gap. And what's very important is that we have this gap between the floor and the wall. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be kind of sturdy-ish. Oops. All right. It's coming around pretty nice. Okay, this should be an easy snip at the edges here. And this last little piece here, we're going to have to cut in place. So what we want to do is just kind of figure out where it's going to sit. Draw a line there. Hold on. And hope that fit perfectly. Oh my gosh, it was too short. It was just a bit too short. Okay, let's try it again. This time we will do it this way. Okay, beautiful. Now there's something we forgot, and that's that on this side there are doors. Well, when I say forgot, that's actually not true. I didn't forget, but there's some things we have to do because this is where the doors are going to go. Okay, we want to get that flush and straight up and down so everything's held together real quick. Let that cool for a moment. And then this is where the doors are going to be, in theory. Make sure everything's good and smeared in there so nothing moves. Okay. Now, let's get some cardstock. And let's cut some strips to be our corner pieces. 1, 2, 3 for the outer corner pieces, 2 little ones for the inner corner pieces. So all we need to do is fold that in half, or fold it in half that way. Get some glue in there, and shove those on the corners to seal those and hide the cardboard edge. And this will sturdy that up. These don't have to be perfect by any means. Okay. right, since the doors are going to go here, we need to figure out how big the doors are going to be if it's just going to be one door. And I think it's going to be one of those swinging double doors. And this is almost 3 inches. So all I'm going to do is make a generic mark at 1.5 inches. Wait, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 1.5 inch, okay. And then this is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to center it on that. And make this my swinging double door area, if I can get it centered. So I'm going to cut this down. Straight up and down. Whoa! Okay. And that's where my double door is going to go. It's going to be one of those, you know, kick it in kind of cowboy doors. I feel like that is not right. So that's 1/3 of an inch. And that's 1/2 inch. Okay, we're going to take 1/4 of an inch by eyeball off of this. No problem. Okay, now that's loose. So let's get in there and sturdy it up a little bit. Okay. All right. So now we have, this is how the base is ultimately going to look. We might make some little changes to it, but this is basically the gist of it right here. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all the happy crappy that helps make the channel grow. And when we come back in part 2, we'll start working on the actual structure of the first floor. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.